This video is on solving for absolute value inequalities. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that your absolute value is isolated. In question number 1, notice that I'm going to now create two problems because this absolute value is in fact isolated. So I'm going to write x minus 1 is less than or equal to 3. Then I'm going to write x minus 1, switch the inequality, and change the sign of whatever comes after. So now I solve. On the left, I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So I have x is less than or equal to 4. On the right, I add 1 to both sides, and I'm going to have x is greater than or equal to negative 2. So this means on a number line, I want all the numbers that are less than or equal to 4 and all the numbers that are greater than or equal to negative 2. So in interval notation, my answer is negative 2 to positive 4. Or you can write this in inequality notation, and we're going to write negative 2 is less than or equal to x less than or equal to 4. Let's go ahead and take a look at question number 2. In question number 2, the absolute value is not isolated. I have to first isolate the absolute value. So what I'm going to do is divide both sides by negative 2. When I divide both sides by negative 2, it is going to switch this inequality to greater than or equal to negative 6 divided by negative 2 is positive 3. So now that I've isolated the absolute value, I can go ahead and create my two problems. I'm going to write k minus 4 is greater than or equal to 3. K minus 4 is less than or equal to negative 3. Now I solve. Add 4 to both sides. So we get k is greater than or equal to 7. Add 4, and I'm going to get k is less than or equal to positive 1. So on a number line, this basically says, here's 1, here's positive 7. I want all of the answers that are going to be greater than or equal to 7. So here is 7, it's greater than or equal to, so I use a bracket, or less than or equal to 1. So notice how they're going in opposite directions. If I want to write this in interval notation, I basically say that I want all the numbers that are coming from negative infinity until I get to positive 1, union, from positive 7 all the way to positive infinity. As an inequality, you just basically write the answer exactly the way you got it when you actually solve the problem. Moving on to example number 3. Here the problem is isolated, the absolute value is isolated. So I'm going to immediately go ahead and write down my two problems. X minus 1 is greater than 2. X minus 1 is less than negative 2. So when I go to write the second part of the problem, I switch to inequality and change the sign. Now I solve. Plus 1 plus 1, x is greater than 3. Plus 1 plus 1, x is less than negative 1. So on a number line, here's negative 1, here's 3. I want all the numbers that are greater than 3, so I'm going to use a parentheses because it's not or equal to. Or I want all the numbers that are less than negative 1. In interval notation, this means that I'm coming from negative infinity until I get to negative 1, union 3 to positive infinity. And then in order for you to write this in inequality notation or what's called set builder notation, you would just have either x is less than negative 1 or x is greater than 3, and that's going to be my answer. Question number 4. We again have the absolute value isolated, so I'm ready to go ahead and write down the two problems. The first one is going to say x plus 7 is less than or equal to 4. The second one is going to say x plus 7 is greater than or equal to negative 4. Switch the inequality, change the sign of what comes after. Go ahead and solve. Minus 7, I get x is less than or equal to negative 3. Minus 7, I get x is greater than or equal to negative 11. On a number line, I want all the numbers that are less than negative 3, less than or equal to negative 3, and at the same time, greater than or equal to negative 11. So I'm going to go ahead and use a bracket at negative 3 and use a bracket at negative 11. And I want everything that is basically in between these two numbers. In interval notation, this means that I want everything from negative 11 all the way to negative 3. And in inequality notation, that means that I want x to be less than or equal to negative 3, greater than or equal to negative 11. Hope you found this video helpful. Remember to subscribe to my channel for more help with math so that you can say, yes, I can do math with confidence. Until next time, thanks for watching.